Wealth and health? Which
That's right.
one is it?
Well, I mean, there is.
Agreement or two in our 32 years. Maybe.
I can't believe that.
I know. It just seems like, we're Facebook happy. Just look at us. Just go on Facebook. We're like everybody else. Our marriage is perfect.
Go ahead. So you and Terry had a fight.
So we had more than one.
Yep.
One of the ones was this idea when the kids were really young of teaching them money principles.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And I'm supposed to be good at this, right? And I literally had jars, and I taught them when they got paid. Now, let me tell you what payment was. Turned it off.
Oh, nice.
So he was ready to get off. He had to go to the restroom, and he just keep waving, and I'd keep waving back. 20 minutes in, I finally figured out he wanted something, and so we went and changed it. But anyway, so he would get paid for doing that.
Sure.
When he got paid, they had some buckets.
Okay.
And
love a good bucket.
Love it. They were mason jars.
Okay.
And they had a slot cut in the top where you could put the money in it. I cut it with a knife and chiseled it out, made it happen.
Yep.
And they were labeled. And that's where Terry and I had the fight. Because one of the buckets was labeled savings.
Okay.
One of the buckets was labeled giving.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Okay.
Here we go. Yep.
Yeah, tithe, whatever.
Yeah,
giving.
Yeah, word. Yep.
And one of the buckets was labeled party like a rock star.
Word. Yep.
And one of the buckets was labeled party like a rock star.
Sweet.
And she had a real problem with that.
Oh, wow.
And so what they did is what I taught them is if they got $1, 10 cents went in savings, 10 cents had to be given away, and 80 cents was go party like a rock star. Do whatever you want. I don't care. Well, this became an issue when they were doing things with their money that she didn't agree with.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not picking on Terry when I say this, but she really had a thing. Look, I'm not going to let them buy a Playboy at 12. Okay, if that was such a thing, a magazine, I don't think exist anymore. But no, those were out of line. But other than that, whatever they wanted to do with their 80%, I didn't care because it wasn't my money.
Sure.
Say, but you can't let him go buy this at that age. Why not? Well, he's wasting his money. You believe he is, and I actually agree with you. I think he is wasting his money. Mm-hmm. I think buying $20 worth of Bubblicious, it was a box of this gum that was like a chewing tobacco. It was shredded, and he wanted to buy it all. He wanted to fill it up. So here's the idea: is that wrong to let him go spend his money or her money on whatever they want if it's theirs? Mm. We could say maybe that's not a good choice. We do this, but at the end of the day, I believed they had the power to choose, and if they wanted to go waste it, they would figure it out soon enough. When they didn't get the joy from what they had.
Sure.
Meanwhile, they were learning to give, they were learning to save. Is if you've already wasted money at 8.
Yeah, sure.
And felt like, that didn't give me any joy at all.
I just got a bunch
of joy the joy lasted for 4 minutes.
Exactly. Yep. Sure.
And so you do that repeatedly between 8 and 12. If you're not the dullest knife in the drawer, you're going to start to do what? Stop those habits.
Yep.
And realize that just buying something that's not thought out doesn't bring you joy. But I got to tell you something, when you're young and the first time you actually have some money, guess what you want to do?
Spend it.
You want to go spend it.
Absolutely.
If you've already given some money away.
I bought an Xbox. I got it.
Thank you. But if you've already given money away freely to whatever you think you should give it to, and you've already saved money, why should you not do that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then learn that you don't want to do that in the future.
Well, and I think I want to ask this next question because we're really kind of going from, hey, we talked about income. We talked about what it looks like to save, which is 10% is like, hey, here's the bare minimum to go. But the next one is invest. And I'm curious because I think this one's harder. It's harder because you can invest in a lot of different things, right? There's so many options out there. Now, not all of them are great. And one of the things I see in my generation, and I'm 36, is like I've watched a couple, and maybe this is a YouTube phenomenon, but like I'm going to put my entire net worth in crypto and I'm going to ride or die crypto.
Okay.
Now, that's a way to invest. I'm not saying it's not a way to invest, but it's a little risky.
But no doubt. But I will tell you that, keep in mind, my youngest is Seth, the race car driver.
Love Seth.
So
Big
he's
fan.
he's 22.
Yep.
Or whatever. So if I had children today
Yeah.
that were this age, I would do it totally different. I
Okay.
would still have the party like a rock star. I would still have the save. I would still have the thing. I would still do it that way. I'd still give them freedom. However, I would be encouraging them to start investing.
Okay. As
I
a
didn't
fourth
do-
jar or as in save?
No, as the save jar,
Yeah.
to me, was the jar that they weren't even, it was just the emergency fund, because I was trying to teach
Got
them
it.
this idea of that.
Sure. So it's a fourth
What I
jar.
would want them to do is take their party like a rock star
Yeah.
jar
Mm-hmm.
and start learning to invest. Now, teaching that to a 5-year-old or an 8-year-old is harder, but I know how I do it because I've encouraged others to do this on different podcasts and things I've been on.
Sure.
So it's this idea that I would say, Xbox. You mentioned Xbox.
Love an
so
Xbox.
think of Seth being 10 years old
Mhm.
and he's got an Xbox, because he did.
Yep.
Say, how do you like that thing? I love it. Well, you realize you didn't make your bed. Mom says, I got to take it from you. You can imagine that conversation, right?
Not great.
Right. And I would say, no, I never said it that way, Terry. I promise. I didn't say Mom says. Yeah, I did. But anyway, because I had to be the good guy. But anyway, so the bottom line is, using that, I would say, yeah, no, you really do love it, right? It's the greatest thing ever. Well, let me ask you a question. Would you like to own the company that makes Xboxes? What? Yeah, would you like to own a piece of the company? Because if you think they're cool, I bet other kids think they're cool. And do you know they would let you at 10 years old? They're looking for some people to invest, and they want someone to buy part of their company? What? Yeah, you could go back to second grade and tell people you own the company that
Xbox.
makes this.
Yeah. Sure.
And you wouldn't be lying. You'd be telling the truth. Would that be interesting to you? How many kids would have said yes?
I'm there with you. Let's go.
I mean, think about that. They would have said yes. And I could have done that. Now, I could have done it then, and I did understand it, but I didn't. We didn't have what we have today in terms of the interwebs and all. It wasn't quite the same.
Yeah.
And I know more now.
Yeah. Sure.
And so I've learned. And that's exactly how I would do it. I'd be encouraging them to take some of their party like a rock star bucket
Mm-hmm.
and just go buy something they're passionate about and own it. And then we could track it, and I could show them how it's growing. And you've bought this company, and now look at you. You're growing it. You're Microsoft and just getting bigger. And maybe you should buy some more. I think I want to. Okay.
We got to invest in PlayStation next.
Right,
Dad.
right. Yeah, let's go. Right.
Sony's there.
Right.
Well, I think that's really impactful. And I also want to go to the next step of the flywheel here when we talk about protecting, right? Because maybe we can get away from the analogy of the kid trying to protect, but maybe we can stay in it too. But ultimately, that looks very different as well. And I think 3 and 4, when I look at them, are a little bit more complicated. And I think most Americans probably struggle with 3 and 4 more than anything else. Because where do I invest it and how do I protect it become big questions. And there's a lot of different options.
Well, I can tell you it's obviously complicated because someone I'm a big fan of, neighbor, his son is they were neighbors for years, and they were just great people, good, hardworking people. And he's got that strong, went to college, but he ended up going in a blue collar lifestyle in terms of work. He works for the company, he works for the man, gets paid very well, but works hard. When I say works hard, he's that, he's in there crunching it. I'm talking about the factory. He's crunching it hard.
Yep.
Investing in his 401. They have a match. He's getting that. Plus, he's putting more in. It's going great. I remember when the markets fell one time, maybe COVID or something. But anyway, and he was watching this money he had worked so hard for disappear.
Yeah.
And smart guy, but all of a sudden he was really hung up on this idea: should he continue? How far is it going to go? And we just had a quick phone call, and it made so much sense to him. So you say, well, how could somebody that you claim is the smart guy, went to college and all, not have known this? Because nobody understands it. They don't get it. This was the greatest time in this young man's life because he needed to go have a yard sale, see if there's anything in his house still worth money, the old Xbox, this and that, and get up all the money he could to do what? Go buy more.
That's right. Yeah. Get some extras.
And the question I asked him, I remember saying it was like, well, you understand how that account works? He goes, I said, that's long term, right? He goes, yeah, no, I get all that. I get all that. But do you think this is like, how far is it? It just feels like I'm just going backwards. I said, no, that's not what I meant. You understand how this works. You're putting money in an account you're not even old enough to touch.
Yeah.
You can't touch this thing for 20 more years or
Right.
something.
Yep.
29 more years, 25, whatever it is. You're going to, I mean, I don't know that you'll ever leave this job because it's a good company. They have good benefits. It's going to be hard, but you could stay there and make a career out of it and do better than a lot of the kids that went to college and went off and got jobs and have and just all the other stuff. And he did go to college.
Sure.
But regardless, he's got a good job that he could retire from and have a pit and it's great. But you're not going to touch this.
Yeah.
So just let it ride, baby. Let's go. But that's when it comes to this, what you invest in, how you invest. It is a big thing. And then protection. And when you think about this protection, what comes first to your mind?
As far as a safe account or just protection in general?
Protection. We put it up there. We put a slide up there and some protection.
No risk. Zero risk on it. CDs that I can put money into that.
So
it won't lose.
This 30-year-old I'm talking about, how much money do they need in protection?
Almost none.
Well, no, I think they need 6 months.
Oh, so okay.
Well, in the emergency fund, that
Yeah.
has to be protection, right?
Sure.
Okay, 6 months,
Yeah.
right?
Of cash.
Of cash.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so that's that. Now, how much more do they need? How much of these accounts should be in protection mode?
None of them. They should all be in growth mode. I'm open to it. What you got? What are you thinking? What are you brewing up over there, buddy?
Well, I think that's what CJ wants to do with his money.
Sure. Totally.
Now, as an advisor, if you're asking advice, I would ask to the person that doesn't agree with you, why?
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I just, wouldn't be able to withstand a 30% market drop or a 40%. Why not? You're in an account.
You can't touch it for 20 years.
Right. Potentially. It could be a
Sure.
brokerage account.
Yeah.
So that could be an answer. But my point in this would be, I think it has to be invested with what you're willing. If you know in your heart, you will be forced to make a bad decision, regardless of the fact you can't touch it or not. If you will lose sleep, if it's going to take years off your life, if you're married and your spouse and you will have a fight over it, then maybe you don't need to be in the aggressive account, and maybe some of that money needs to be invested differently. Yeah. The point I'm trying to make is you have to recognize that this money doesn't belong to the person helping you with it. It belongs to you. And you have to be honest with yourself. If you know that if it fell, and again, everybody wants to talk in percentages. Let's say you finally hit that first 100,000, and you know that if it fell to 70,000, you just put it all in cash in the 401, maybe, or the brokerage account. If you know honestly you would do that, regardless if you're 25 or 45, then it doesn't need to be invested that way.
Yeah.
Now, how would I want you to invest it? I'd want you to be swinging for the fences, not recklessly, not meme stocks, not GameStop on a Sunday night. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a good growth portfolio to grow this darn money.
Sure. Yeah. And at a certain point that changes, right?
Better believe it does.
And I think that might be different for everyone too, where it's like
when it changes.
Yeah, when it changes. So sometimes you're 40, sometimes you're 50, sometimes you're 60s. It depends on you.
Correct.
And I also think it depends on the market as well, right? In some ways.
It could depend on lifestyle as well, too. When
Sure.
you say lifestyle, what do you mean? Or employment. Well, think about this. What if you're currently working in a position, you've been at it for 20 years, and you're seeing AI moved and robotics move to where you could be replaced
Sure.
in 5 years?
Yeah. A lot of that fear going on right now. Yeah.
It could be.
Yep.
And so if you're in that range, what would I want to do differently? If you really believe you may have to actually find a new career, let's say we have a different presidential administration and you're working in a coal mine.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Just being honest.
Yeah, sure.
What did other ones believe? Coal's terrible. It's the worst thing ever. And
That's
we're
right.
going to close you down and you're not going to have a job.
Sure.
I would not want my 401, my savings, my retirement heavily, aggressively invested.
Yeah.
Because I might have to live on it while I learn a new trade. And I would totally be changing it.
Sure.
Because that makes sense. As I start to head toward retirement. Well, what is toward retirement? We're all heading toward retirement. That's stupid, Mark. I'm 22. I'm heading toward retirement. You are, but it's kind of a long time.
It's far away.
But now I'm in my 50s. I'm changing mine. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
Now, did I personally do that? Absolutely. With the money that I might want to spend sooner than the money I don't.
Sure.
I have divided my money up in a lot of different ways so that I am covered. Again, I can't build my walls high enough, but I'm trying.
Yep. And so the more and more I hear you talk about this, the more and more I think the thing that comes through is that you can protect yourself in a lot of different ways.
Yep.
At a lot of different times in your life.
That's right.
And a lot of these are your decisions that you get to make. And there's recommendations that we as financial advisors can make. But ultimately, you're going to have to figure out what level of risk you want to take on that side for sure.
Well, let me throw another example of that out there. And we've got some other slides I want to bring up. But
Sure.
think about this for a minute. Going back to my friend that does work in a place that's physical.
Yeah.
Coal miner.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you get hurt on a job like that?
Absolutely. You probably will.
Why wouldn't you have disability insurance?
You should.
They don't.
Oh, really?
Most people don't.
Yeah.
I'm talking to a lot of people watching this right now. They don't. You have a different role. You're a military person. You have 18 years in. You have a lot of protection built in. Let's just say you're not military. You are. But you're just an advisor. Your likelihood of getting and needing disability insurance on this job is very low.
That almost none. Yeah.
Doesn't mean you couldn't get hurt mountain biking.
Sure.
Okay. But what type of an injury would it take? You might be out a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But could you still be a competent advisor with a broken leg?
Sure. Yeah.
Would you still getting paychecks?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. Your need for disability insurance is much, much lower.
Sure. Yep.
In my career, when the children were young, when I was still actively riding motorcycles on the weekend for racing,
Yep.
when I was still doing things, I did not have the money I have now. And I absolutely paid for a very good disability policy because some of the times when I was working for certain companies, they would have given me a pass and let me continue. And some, I'm positive, if I'd have been disabled for 60 days, they'd have fired me.
Yeah.
And so I had to have insurance to protect my family. I want you to think it this way. We use this a lot in terms of our retirees and stuff about insuring their paycheck. But do you insure your car?
Yeah.
Do you want to have a wreck?
No.
So wait, you're paying some company to give you protection for something you don't want to happen.
Correct.
Interesting. Do you, in an example, if you were a hardcore construction worker, a job that had an opportunity for you to get injured more than others, or just even hurt where you couldn't go get the paycheck?
Yeah.
Would you believe it'd be appropriate to insure yourself for something that you don't want to happen?
Absolutely. Yep.
You have Luke now. Have you decided to have insurance in case something happened to you?
He's got insurance. Yeah.
You have
me.
insurance.
Yeah.
Cover him and Sarah.
Exactly. Yep.
Do you want that to happen?
No.
You'd like to spend another day too with Luke.
I would like that.
Okay,
but I worry Sarah might get me now.
Right. Well, because you have a big insurance policy, I totally get that. Okay. So let me ask you a question. Why, when people head toward retirement, do they not insure probably one of the most important things they need?
Their income.
Their paycheck.
Their paycheck.
Isn't that crazy?
It is. Yeah.
But we spend it for all these other things.
We do.
And if you don't, but you should.
Yeah. Sure.
Insurance on your home, your assets, your life, other things, you need to do that.
Yeah.
Paycheck's one of them.
It absolutely is. Yeah. And so we've kind of beat this flywheel to death and ultimately, but it is there's complicated pieces to this and it gets a little bit harder at times. And so always, this is the Wealth Help Desk. We want to help you answer those questions. So if you have more questions on the flywheel or investments and protections and what that looks like, we're happy to answer.
There is a slide there I want you to put up just to tell people some ways they can get started. Give them some tips. These are some of the ones. And I'm not endorsing any of these specifically, but I've personally used them. And now, they are good.
Exactly. And I'm an app guy, Mark.
Yeah.
I like going and getting an appetizer at the restaurant, and I love using them on my phone. And I use a bunch of these different ones.
I can't say that I'm an app guy like you are. However, I am not an Apple guy like you Apple nerds for a reason. I love Apple. It's a great company. No big deal. but they're just so far behind in the technology side. However, I may be an app guy as well as you look at all these apps that are on my phone for a variety of purposes.
And the way
and you can't do this on your Apple.
Well, that's true. I cannot fold it. You've got me there. I have to swipe a little bit further.
But why an AB? What is that with?
Well,
you need a budget.com.
That's right. Budget. What I love about this is it's changed. So I grew up, you're gonna be amazed by this, but my mom made me balance the checkbook, right? And so that was where I started.
I think they still should teach it, even though nobody's ever going to have a checkbook in the future.
And I hate it. I hate it doing it. I hate it today because when I look at the apps, it's so much more beneficial. And especially if you've collected a plethora of different types of accounts, right? I have stuff that automates all of my budgeting apps. So like it knows my different bank accounts, how they can get in, if the money changes over there, if I got paid, if there was a big expense, I can make a notification. If Sarah went and spent $1,000 on something, I know about it, right? Now, Sarah is really, really good about telling me, hey, I'm going to go purchase this thing or whatever. But those apps have made it so seamless where I don't have to spend the hours. It's so fast.
So what do you use those for up there? What are the ones that you like?
I love the budgeting app. I don't use that one. I use NerdWallet, but
same thing.
Same thing.
And that's a good NerdWallet's a good one.
Absolutely.
Works fine.
And it says, hey,
they both accomplish the same thing.
Exactly. Acorns is fun. Robinhood's also another one. And this is a little bit more.
So what's Acorn for?
Investing. And so
that's right. What's
you want to buy
Robinhood
the Xbox?
For? Investing.
Exactly. We're investing in those things.
And Robinhood is really, really good unless you want your money at the time they're like selling GameStop. So anyway, but other than that, it's really, really good. I still pick on them for that because it made me mad. I didn't use it, but there were people that could have sold at a profit and weren't allowed to get their money out, and that bothered me.
Yep. And a lot of folks, I mean, my father-in-law does this in retirement, like have decided that they do want to buy and sell their own stocks. It doesn't have to be with all of their money. Maybe they've took a small portion of it.
I have so many clients that are do-it-yourselfers. There are clients with a bulk of their money, and they still have accounts they like to manage. They want to see if they can be this and this and that. And I think it's great because I love it when they do.
Yeah, and that's fun for them. And honestly, I found that that's something that folks like to do in retirement. Some find that as like the most fun thing to do, even if they're not finance dudes. Like they just, hey, I was an engineer, I was a pilot, I like doing this stuff. It's kind of there's a gambling element to it as well.
So tell me about Monarch Money.
I don't know what that is. Have you seen that before?
No, it's all in one.
Oh, it's got everything in it. Okay, cool.
I've seen it. Yes, I've seen it.
Okay.
I know. I have personally got on and played with all these. They're on my phone. I can pull up every one of these.
Yeah,
because I want to know what the latest is, so I can talk to people. I have my favorites.
Yeah,
but they don't fit for everybody, so I want people to know because everybody's situation is different. So Monarch Money is one that you do your budgeting, your investing, and everything all in one. So talk about Empower. That's a cool one.
Yeah, network tracking. This one is fun. It's fun for me because I'm kind of you make milestones. Yeah. Hey, I want to get to this number.
This is the one that tells you just crested 100,000.
Yes.
I just crested $500,000. I just crested $3 million.
Yep.
It's kind of cool. So it's taking a lot of stuff into account.
Yep.
Potentially home equity and other things you may or may not have and all this stuff, but it's coming back with where you're at in life right now.
Yep. And
it's fun.
It is. Yeah. And it's fun to make improvements on that one too. Yeah. And so as you make good, bad, or indifferent on the debt side too, they'll track your debt as well. So those are good for tracking all in one. That's part of my first of the month. I recommend this for everyone. First of the month, you should have a family meeting. You should talk about all these things. You should talk about what you spent last month. You should talk about what's coming up in the future that you're going to spend. And then you should look at what's working and what's not working. Because all of finance in itself is a living thing. It changes over time. It's not like you can do one thing forever and it's going to constantly work. And so this is really, really important to be able to adapt and change when the environment changes around you. And there's going to be changes.
Well, look at this slide that Mark's throwing at us now. This one's so cool. I want you to see this because this impact of when you start this process.
Yeah.
Man, this came from U.S. News, as you can see. But look what happens to the person over there that started investing at 25 versus the person that started at 35. Is that a disparity later in life?
Totally, yeah. Especially
Isn't that just crazy?
Yep.
But like, look at the one that like, I just was busy. I couldn't get started till I was 45. Look what happens.
Goes down.
Man,
yeah.
It goes back to that time in the market. I mean, time in the market. I always say that wrong, don't I? Yeah. Time in the market. Time in investing is your friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's your friend. And man, does it make a difference.
Yeah. And I mean, we're not the only YouTube channel that talks about this. And I see this one. This is probably the most talked about topic right now, specifically because young people are on YouTube,
Yeah.
and our advice to young people, and you could be in the 30s bucket and still win here. You'd be 35 and still win here. You just have to start.
Absolutely.
You have to start.
Well,
right?
evidently that's true because I'm the guy that won in my 20s,
Uh-huh.
and I won in my 30s, and I won in my 40s until I didn't. But I was basically semi-retired.
Yeah. Nobody
in
was
my
going to
40s.
tell Mark how and what he had to do at that point.
I didn't
you know?
have to. I could do
Yeah.
whatever I wanted.
Exactly.
And I truly believe I had enough as long as I controlled the spending. And again, the longevity risk was something that you have to really think about. And but I believe we had enough to go all the way.
Yeah.
Until we didn't,
Sure.
and that's reality. But look at me now. So when you say, if you're watching this and you feel like you're, call it behind. Okay. I've been behind big time.
Yep.
And it's all good. It can work out. Now you have to have that mindset that you refuse to lose.
Refuse to lose. That's good.
Just refuse.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
a choice.
Yep.
Mark, doesn't work. Yes, it does. I refuse to lose.
Mm.
And that doesn't mean you won't lose. It means you refuse. And what I mean by that is you lose. Okay. As long as I get back up, I haven't lost. I've only lost when I what? Stopped.
Right. Yeah, when you quit.
When I quit.
Yep, sure.
Then I've lost. I refuse to lose in the game of life.
Yeah.
And it is a game. It's full of choices.
It is.
It's full of choices.
You want to do some Q&A, Mark?
I don't know. Should we?
We should do some Q&A.
Is it
Think
that time?
It is that time. Yeah.
All right.
absolutely.
Well, that's fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter. That's right.
Well, we like to do the Q&A a certain way.
Sure.
We've got some questions. We pull them out, and these are questions that have come in, and we throw them at each other to see if we can get an answer. And or what kind of answer we're gonna get, and then CJ will usually tell me he doesn't like my answer, and he'll tell me why, or is that what I do with you?
No, it's a little bit of both. I mean, what's great about us is that fact that you get two different perspectives because you're a heavier spender.
Yeah,
I'm a
5
bigger
years
saver.
older than you,
Exactly.
or something.
And you have a little bit more life experience than I do. And those
Because
are,
I'm 5 years old.
That's right. Just 5. That's all you get. That's all you get.
All right, let's go. Who's
Okay.
going first?
I'll
Here, rock, paper, scissors. Go. Come on. Rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay. No. We'll do it again. You were
No.
early.
No, I wasn't early. You threw the hand.
Okay,
flag.
are you asking or
I
are
did
you
paper.
answering?
I'm choosing.
Okay, you're choosing.
Let me see. I'm going to look at this, and I'm going
I'll
to
give you
go
a
first, and I'm going to give you a question.
Do.
Yep. I'm 41 with 38,000 in my 401,
Okay.
9,000 in credit card debt, and an extremely high APR, and I have $0 in an emergency fund. Should I invest more or kill the debt first?
Should you invest more or kill the debt first? I think Mark has, yeah, I know. Mark has opened up my eyes on this one a little bit because I think maybe a month ago I would have answered this a little differently. But today, after seeing kind of your experience and then asking the question of others, the most important thing is to be able to prepare for emergencies. If you cannot prepare for the emergency, you won't be able to get out of any of the debt. So the first thing is you really need to take some of this money and make sure you convert it to an emergency fund, right?
Well, he can't take it because it's in a 401.
Oh,
And look at his age.
yeah. So you need to start saving for an emergency fund. I think
So-
you leave the credit card debt.
Let me jump
until
on this
that.
one. I think you're 100% right,
Yeah.
but I'm going to show you how to do it. And this is going to be, again, love my friend Dave Ramsey. I'm a Dave Ramsey Smart Asset Pro, whatever they call us. But I'm going to probably give you advice that Dave wouldn't even agree with right now, but I'm going to do it. And he may, but I think you'll understand where I'm going here.
Sure.
If you're contributing, let's say, 8% to your company's 401, and the company doesn't have a match,
Okay.
I might tell you to pause it.
Sure.
And put none in.
Okay.
If the company has a match, I tell you to take whatever you're investing in your 401 down to the match. You can't give away free money. I want to find a way to get you more money in your pocket today because we've got to have a yard sale. We got to take on a part-time job. We got to do some Uber. We got to create some income, some cash flow to get you a 6-month emergency fund. As soon as we have that, we got to go into the debt snowball and start paying this debt off. Once the debt's gone, the emergency fund's funded, the debt's gone, I want you putting a heck of a lot more. All this money needs to be going in that 401 of yours because we got to get you caught up and get you where you need to be so one day you can actually have the retirement you deserve.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. And these are all, I mean, they're not, we said them out loud. They're not necessarily the easiest steps at times. This is going to be challenging.
It's controversial, probably.
Yeah.
A lot of people, and hey, the haters, tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why you disagree. Put it in the comments. I'm okay with that.
Sure.
And I'll try to address it on next week's show.
Yeah. Yeah, we love that.
All right, Mike, your turn.
My turn to ask you. Okay, I'm going to go with number 4 on our list here.
Okay.
I'm 57. I want to retire at 63, and my 401k is 80% stocks. If the market drops 25% next year, what changes now prevent panic later?
Yeah, it's a great question. So first off, you are, let's go over that number again, number 4, 57. And that puts you 6 years from retirement. You are squarely in the red zone. And I don't understand football, but I think that means you're across the 50-yard line or something. What does that mean? Where's the red zone?
Right in front of the touchdown.
Well, how many feet is
20
that?
yards.
20 feet. Okay,
20
so you're 20 feet yards?
20 yards.
So that's 60 feet. Okay, whatever. But bottom line is you're close.
Yep.
You're close to going through the goalpost.
Yep. Sure.
Or across the line, whatever.
I don't know what we're playing anymore. Are we playing rugby? What's going on?
I know motorsports. I'm a car guy. I know motorsports. My son races IMSA. He's a professional driver for Lamborghini. Guess what? I know that, and I don't have a clue about these stick and ball sports. But you're in the red zone financially, and I understand this more than anybody. Yep. Because here's what I know. You're 57, and you plan on retiring at 63. And at 59, the company hired a new CEO, and their job is to consolidate. And because they know you're getting ready to retire anyway, they can't do this, but they'll say, yeah, you're out. And you were just forced to retire 3 years ahead of your plan.
Yeah.
Happens every day. You have this, but things change. We cannot allow a drop of 25% at this point in life. That portfolio has to be rebalanced. You have to understand the risk you're taking, high, low, whatever, and we need to see how that portfolio can be redesigned so whatever losses happen, it's in the market, but whatever losses they are, you can survive them.
So if I were to simplify this in layman's terms, it would be your portfolio is too risky and you need to move.
I don't know that it's too risky, but 80% stock sure tells me it is.
Yeah.
That just is crazy. But that doesn't mean we need to go to 80% bonds because they could be just as risky.
It's true. Yeah.
You know, because you're 57, you're now, for many people, 59, it absolutely, but after 55, many 401s allow you to remove the money from the 401, not close it, keep putting money in, and go open your own IRA so you can decide how that money gets invested.
Yeah, absolutely. Good tips. Good tips. Okay, Mark, go ahead. Line me up with one.
All right, let me find a good one.
Go ahead. Take your time. Gotta find a good one.
We kind of covered that one. Okay, I love this one. I want to see how you answer this because you're a new advisor.
Okay.
We're going with number 8. I want an advisor, but I'm afraid of being sold stuff. What are 5 questions that reveal if they're a real planner or a product rep? Ooh, this is going to be a hard one for CJ, I think. That's why I chose it. I'm happy.
That's good. So I think it matters the process of getting to what you need, right? And I think when you go through the process of working with a financial advisor, it's very, very important that they understand you because they're different than you. They're going to make decisions for their portfolio that might be different than you. But that doesn't mean necessarily that those are the wrong decisions. They just might not be the right decisions for you based off of you on your evaluation of risk, on what things you care about. Maybe you have something where you're against coal and you don't want to invest in coal. They need to understand that. So they can't give you some portfolio that is coal driven, right? And so I think it's very, very important that financial advisors take the time to figure out who you are before they can make any recommendations about what you need, because they need to understand your situation before they can go forward and do that. So
answer the question.
I would say
they want to know what's 5 questions. Give me a question they should ask.
I think it should be about, one, your risk first in starting.
They should ask you your risk tolerance?
Yeah, your risk tolerance. How much is too much risk? If I did this, is it too risky for you or not risky enough?
Remember, this person, this man or woman, is nervous.
Yeah.
And they want to know what questions are going to reveal that. Now, I think you're telling things if you're meeting with someone and they're not talking to you to get to know you and things like that.
Yeah.
They're already offering advice and they don't even know who you are. I think that's answering some of those. But let's talk about real questions you should ask.
Sure.
Okay. I would start with this. CJ, you would go in, or Bobby, Susie, whatever the person is in front of you, I would say, are you a licensed fiduciary?
There you go. Yeah, that's a good one.
Right there.
Mhm.
Now, it doesn't make them bad if they're not. I want this question answered. And then I would add to that, explain to me what that means to you.
Sure.
So you work for this big box firm. Are you allowed with independence to choose what's in my best interest? Because you said you hold this license. Are you allowed, or do you have a specific range of things that you're supposed to use based on the firm you work with? Are you allowed to use the world as your playground and choose only what you believe is in my best interest?
Okay.
That sounds kind of cool.
That's a good question. Do you have another one?
I do. Tell me the demographics of your current clients.
Okay. What does that do?
I want to know if they work with people like me.
Sure.
I'm 30 years old. Do you have 30-year-old clients? I'm 55 and planning for retirement. What's your specialty? Oh, I work with everybody. Okay. When I have a problem or a need, I go to someone that can solve that need.
Okay.
A general practice doctor is just for that.
General.
General.
Not everything.
It's not a specialist.
Yeah.
When it comes to my retirement, I want a specialist. So depend upon where I'm at. Mark, I specialize in working with people that are 20 and they're just starting out, and I help them grow their money. I'm very good at it. Okay, great. That might be for me. It might be not for me. I want to know what they do.
Yeah.
I would want to know how, if I'm thinking in the older segment now,
Yeah.
these 50-year-olds and all, explain to me how you help me build a written financial plan. What is your process for that? It's a simple question. Just ask them.
Sure.
Are your plans designed and built by certified financial planners? Perhaps ask them, are you a certified financial planner? Now, I'm not. Ask me, I'm not. But I don't do any plans that aren't done by a certified financial planner. I don't sit there and put all the puzzle pieces together. I help you do it in front of you with my plan. But I don't want to sit in the closet and design the plan. I'm just not good at that. That's not what I specialize in.
Sure. Yeah.
So I let the certified financial planners on my team. We do not deliver one plan to a client that's not been done by a certified financial planner. I would ask a question about, again, it depends upon ages.
Okay.
But again, I'm sitting here as a 50-year-old. Tell me how you help clients save money in taxation now and in the future.
Okay.
Are taxes important?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Being in the right tax bracket could be a big deal.
Yeah.
Trying to be in the lowest one you can be in. Tell me how you help with that.
Well, I think what's also really interesting about this question that they're asking us is this idea that, like, why is there fear around being sold, right? Why does that exist in the industry?
Well, let me, because it's real.
Yeah.
Because it's real. Because it is a real fear. Let me be very clear about this, CJ. And I want you to really hear this just because you work with me now. But also, I want the people listening to hear this. If I want to go sell a vacuum, I could create an infomercial to show everything about it and sell a product, a vacuum cleaner, copier, I don't care, whatever it is, a car.
Sure.
Done that. I totally get it. And I'm okay as a consumer being sold a vacuum. I would love to be able to walk in a place and have someone knowledgeable about a vacuum. In fact, that happened recently. We needed one for our downtown apartment.
And they go above and beyond when you're buying a vacuum.
Listen, normally I don't get that because I want competence.
Yeah.
And I was in Best Buy and I found somebody and it happened to be the rep for Dyson.
Oh, there you go.
And I didn't want another Dyson vacuum. There's too much money and all. And he saw me looking and stuff, and he literally showed me this newest Duo, whatever it is. But it's basically, he asked me if I had hardwoods. Well, of course we have hardwoods. And then he asked me, well, do you have carpet? I said, well, there's some rugs in there and stuff. Yeah. He goes, okay. He said, let me show you our newest thing, blah, blah, blah. And of course, it's on sale. But anyway, this thing would actually mop the hardwoods, switch the head out, vacuum the carpet. One tool. And I got to tell you, I have never been more satisfied with a purchase in my life. That thing is amazing, and I absolutely love it.
Yep.
I don't want to be sold any product, stock, bond, mutual fund, or anything else when it comes to money.
Yeah.
When it comes to my life's work, whether I've saved $200,000 for retirement or $2 million or $20 million, you're not selling me a thing. I don't want to be sold anything.
Yeah.
It's not about a product. It's about a plan. It's not about a bond. It's not about a mutual fund. There's all the people on YouTube, and I'm not hating on you. You're telling everybody, go buy this and put this in it, and you're going to be fine. I don't even know what the word fine means, and I do not want any part of that in my personal retirement plan.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I think it's a healthy fear to have, because it's something you've built, right? You don't necessarily want
I want
somebody
to see tools used and how they're going to solve what I want.
Exactly.
I want to see a puzzle put together called a retirement. I want to see all the pieces on the table. I want to see if I'm missing any pieces in my retirement plan. I want those holes filled, and then I want you to show me the beautiful picture it creates with what I've accomplished in my life.
Yeah. Good question. Good answers.
Today was a great show.
Yeah.
Listen, hit that like and subscribe button.
Sure. Yeah.
You got it this far, or if you just tuned in just now, hit the like and subscribe button. I want the algorithms to promote this to more people. If you disagree with something we said, tell us. I want to know it. I want to hear it.
They want to pay off the credit card first, not the emergency fund, Mark.
It makes more sense. You're paying 28%, and the emergency fund is going to pay you 2% on a good day. But it's not the correct way to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, we appreciate you. We hope you found the information useful and helpful. And give us your questions, give us your concerns, and let us help you on the Wealth Help Desk with Mark and CJ and whoever else we might find to come on this show.
That's right. Yeah.
Live large and prosper. We'll see you again next week at 10 a.m.
Live long and prosper too.
I said live large. I said live.